Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and as you can see from my portfolio today, oh, and by the way, I forgot to add this in. I would really appreciate it if you dropped a like on the video, smash that like button. It really does help me out, and especially if you enjoy these videos focused around Tesla as a topic, I would really appreciate you showing some love. It really does help me out, and it also helps me with the YouTube algorithm in which it recommends my videos to newer viewers, so I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the love. It means a lot. But moving on, I believe this is like the first time I have ever gotten this close to $80,000 in total in my portfolio. I think I've gotten to 78 before, but if we look at my all-time charts today, yeah, I think this may be above the peak. 79,602, 79,546. So my portfolio has just reached an all-time high today, and the main reason that my portfolio is making this much noise today and going absolutely crazy in the best way possible is because of Tesla stock. And before we go ahead and jump over to that stock, let's just look at the gains for today. As you can see, currently at 2.29% in gains, and we are at about $1,800 in gains, $1,778.74. This growth is absolutely tremendous. This type of growth in one day is usually unheard of. I mean, 2.29% growth isn't too crazy, but considering that the majority of this growth came from Tesla, you do have to acknowledge that. And although Microsoft is my largest holding and it was negative today, it was one of the few stocks that was red today, Tesla really held its ground. They just totally skyrocketed today. I mean, if you look at my current today's returns, we are plus $1,704 or plus 7.27% with Tesla. And the $1,700 in gains makes up the majority of my gains for today. I mean, if we look at Apple, I've gained $157. So the majority of my gains today have come from Tesla stock. And as you can see from my portfolio right now, we just now entered after hours. It is currently 4 p.m. exactly. And if we take a look at Tesla stock once again, we can go ahead and look at the total return. And as you can see right here, I have about $2,226.71 in total return, which is plus 9.72%. And all of this is simply from me having an average cost of $818. In total right now, I own 28 shares, and this takes up about 32% of my portfolio. And with this total return noted right here, I want to bring back an instance where, if you're familiar with my channel, you already know about this, and if you're not, I'll go ahead and let you know. And for those of you stuck in the middle, I'll just remind you. I recently sold an ETF known as VOO. So if we go ahead and look at this, it's up a tiny bit today. It's in the green at plus 0.43%, but I recently sold this stock at like a $2,200 or $2,300 loss because, for one thing, the recovery on this stock was super slow and way more out of my taste than what I actually prefer. And lately I've been focusing a lot on simply avoiding diversification because a lot of the times, I mean, for example, before I go into that, this ETF mirrors the S&P 500, which tracks the top 508 stocks in the stock market. So when you buy this, it is pretty much automatic diversification. But what I came to realize with my portfolio, I mean, I've always never had a problem with diversification. This was actually the majority of my holdings in my stock portfolio before I sold it all. And by the way, I sold it all at a price of like $32,000 when I spent about $34,000 on it. But basically, I picked this stock and purchased a lot of it to enforce that diversification within my portfolio. So if I were to make a bad decision on one of my other stocks, this stock holding will hold it down for me and help me recover some of that loss. However, some ideology that I've gotten used to lately, and I kind of prefer this, is, and Warren Buffett actually stated this, I don't know the exact quote, but it was basically a statement referencing the idea that diversification is simply a defense against ignorance. It's basically guarding your own self against ignorance. So diversification is often meant for people that don't do their research. It's meant for the majority of people that just want to simply passively invest and buy a stock and hold it forever and not have to do much work in terms of research. However, over time, I've realized that when you really focus on just a small number of stocks that take up a large amount of your portfolio, you can tremendously grow your portfolio portfolio. And of course, there's the statement that says diversification is for maintaining wealth and concentration is for growing wealth. So basically what I'm doing with my portfolio is I'm concentrating my funds on 3 main stocks. So with these 3 stocks, I pretty much have to hope that all of them perform well, because it will negatively impact my portfolio greatly if even one fails. However, I feel like my research and my choices and my predictions for the future will help me make a lot more money compared to the alternative, which is in the case that I didn't do enough research, or it's simply just a fluke and somehow I lost a lot of my money just because of a typical random unfortunate event. However, I think the likelihood of that is pretty small, and I do believe that the choices I've made in the stock market so far will help me make a lot more money compared to if I was still investing in VOO. And I have to mention this right here, going back onto the first thing that I mentioned. With VOO, I took about a $2,200 loss so I could get that $32,000 in funds and invest it into Microsoft and Tesla. And with my logic, I thought, okay, I can put this money into these stocks, and I think that by the time VOO would have recovered to where I had basically broken even, I think that if VOO were to return to that point, then the other stocks like Microsoft and Tesla would have gone just as far as well, and I think these stocks would grow much more for me compared to VOO. So if we go ahead and fact check that with my predictions, as you can see right here on total return for Tesla stock, we are at a $2,300 gain. So as of right now, the move that I made to sell VOO and put it into Microsoft and Tesla stock was the best move possible that I could have made, and it worked out absolutely perfect so far because I've already regained my money back. Where if we go and look at VOO, what VOO has to do is to return to this point right here, somewhere in this point right here in the December mark. So VOO needs to be right here before I break even on the stock, or before I would have broken even. So if we go straight across, we have a long ways to go for VOO. We still have a decent amount of ways to go there. And if we look at Tesla stock, I've already regained my $2,300 that I lost in the first place by selling VOO early to prioritize those funds into Tesla and Microsoft. So basically what I'm saying here is I came out on top with my prediction, and sometimes when you sell at a loss, it is not always a bad thing, because if you have a vision for the future and you can prioritize a move that will help you make more money in the long term, then that can be the way to go. And this is just one of those examples where some people may have thought that I was crazy for selling at a loss. And honestly, for myself as well, the idea of selling at a $2,300 loss it does sound pretty crazy, but I had that vision for the future and that vision for the long term. And the crazy thing is, this all sort of played out exactly like I had expected it. I expected Microsoft and Tesla to do very well in the short term for me, and I ended up regaining this money much faster than I would have if I had put it into VOO. And worst case scenario, if there is a stock market crash, then both VOO, Tesla, Microsoft, every single stock in the stock market is going to drop down most likely. So the threat of a crash doesn't really bother me as well, because I know if I had $32,000 in VOO still, then it would probably drop a lot more than Tesla stock, or should I say Microsoft stock, or something else like that I'm invested in. So worst case scenario, there's a stock market crash and VOO is still going to be the stock that drops the most, or drops about the same amount as Tesla, but I've already recovered my $2,300, so I'm still in a better position compared to if I had VOO and there was a stock market crash. So in simple terms, I made the best move possible in this situation right here, and I didn't even put all of my funds into Tesla. I put about $10,000 or $15,000 into Tesla, but I could have easily put $30,000 into Tesla and made way more. But hindsight is always 20/20, and I'm glad that I do have more of a balance between Tesla and Microsoft. From now on, I'll probably focus on putting most of my money into Tesla stock, but overall, I'm super happy with the progress we've made on this stock. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, we're up 8.16%, and a lot of that came from simply just today alone on June 1st. So June 1st is a fantastic day for us so far. And if we look at since the drop, we have recovered about 28% so far, probably even more than that if we counted it up from the very bottom right here. And if we look at the past year chart, we see this absolutely tremendous move from the 28th to June 1st. So it is nearing all-time highs, 901.85 for today, and the all-time high is 917.42. So we are getting super close. And it's honestly interesting to see. I mean, if we look at the all-time chart right here, it says February 21st is 901 and June 1st is 901.85. So I don't know what the deal is here. I don't know why it's different. That's February 19th. So there's not a February 19th on the 5-year chart. but basically the all-time high here is 917.42. And by the way, I do have a Tesla limit buy that I placed a while back. This was for a price of $7.96. So if it hits $7.96 or lower, then it will automatically purchase a share of Tesla stock. I don't know how likely this is now. However, I did make another purchase today, which I will be breaking down in a single video itself. When I do make purchases, I like to separate them into their own videos where I can purely focus on that one stock. But if we go ahead and just analyze our portfolio right here, I don't know if this is glitched in the after hours. Okay, yeah, after hours is updated. So as you can see, we made about $1,800 today. And to just go ahead and break down our gains and losses for today, just as a portfolio update, as you can see, we have a $35,000 market value investment into Microsoft. I own 193 shares at an average cost of $171. This takes up about 44% of my portfolio. And we lost 0.25% today, so not too much, just about $87. And in total, we are still in the positive for Microsoft, plus 6.77%, or $2,237. And then we also have an upcoming dividend on June 11th as well, which I'm pretty hyped about. And then, of course, we've already addressed Tesla stock. You already know the logistics and the statistics with that. But moving on to Apple stock, this is one of those stocks that I've been sort of reserved on lately. I haven't made any purchases around Apple stock recently much at all. But as you can see, my average cost is $285.95. I own 42 shares. It takes up about 17% of my portfolio. The current market value is $13,519. And the cost is $12,000. So we've made a little bit, as you can see. And today's return is plus 1.25%. And in cash, that is about $166. And for the total return, we are plus 12.57%, which is plus $1,509.72. So Apple has performed pretty well for me so far. I can't remember if Friday was negative for Apple. For some reason, I feel like it was a red day for Apple on Friday, but we did have a good Tesla day Friday as well, given that the SpaceX launch was coming up on Saturday. But just to quickly break down why I think Tesla stock went up so much today, obviously it was because of the SpaceX success launch on Saturday, and of course the successful space station docking on Sunday as well. But this was also because of the news in California, where the Model 3 actually outsold every other vehicle in California, including the Honda Civic and the Toyota Camry. So this is absolutely tremendous news for Tesla's future. So in combination with the SpaceX news, the upcoming progress with the master plan and building factories, and of course a lot of these other events out here that are affecting Tesla in a great way. But anyways, I just wanted to show my portfolio today, explain the moves that I've been making recently, and specifically focus on Tesla stock because that is a big topic on my channel. It's a big mover in my portfolio, and it's one that I absolutely love doing research on and simply learning more about. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out. I really do appreciate it. And if you would like to begin investing, feel free to use my referral links to Robinhood and Webull down in the description below. If you sign up with those links, we'll both get some free stocks. But I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe out there.